お嬢様。
Hello my lords and ladies, Joe here, and today I'd like to talk to you about the 10th anniversary hunt, Moogle Treasure Trove. There are a lot of items available during this hunt, so you might be wondering how you should prioritize what to get. Well, I'm here to lend a helping hand on how to allocate those tomes. I will be going through these items based on how they are obtained outside of the event, so even if you don't take my advice, you will have a feel of their difficulty to obtain once the treasure hunt ends. First, let's talk about the event exclusives. These items are only available during treasure tome events, meaning that they should be given top priority, even if you only have a passing interest in them, especially the 10-year anniversary Framers Kit. If the cycle process of the Treasure Tome events remains the same, all other items in this category will most likely reappear as prizes in another treasure hunt in about 2 to 3 years. However, because the Framers Kit is specifically tied to the 10-year anniversary, it is a safe bet to say that this will never be seen again. And at a decent price of 10 tomes, I'd definitely make this your top priority. I'd also like to point out that the Glamour equipment and the Taoist Moogle are only 1 tome apiece, so it's practically a steal for these exclusive items. The only exception to this is the Magic Prism Job Mastery Firework. While yes, this is only obtained through Moogle Treasure Trove events, it is available at every hunt for what is a very lackluster firework. So if you want to get them, there will always be another treasure trove you can pick them up. Only buy these at the end of the event if you have literally nothing left to spend your access tomes on. Next, triple Triad cards. Most of these should be considered a very low priority, as it would be far easier just to play NPCs to get them, with the exception of the Suzaku card, which is only obtainable through its respective trial, both regular and extreme, so I still wouldn't place it very high. The Warrior of Light card is the other exception. This card is the whole reason I decided to make this video, because people might not realize how much of a trap this card is.
It's a trap!
While the Warrior of Light is a rare gold Triad card, making you think that purchasing it through the event would be a great way to avoid the RNG, if you are interested in getting this card, dollars to donuts, you are also interested in getting the Zidane card as well. Zidane is also a rare drop from Gold Triad cards, and while this might sound anecdotal, all 3 of my characters who I used to play Triple Triad have gotten the Warrior of Light card before Zidane. Combine that with the fact that this card costs 100 tomes, and if you get a duplicate, it's only worth 1,500 MGP. Now you might not want to spend your MGP on gold triple Triad cards. In that case, I recommend you play open tournaments. Not only will you make MGP, if you place decently, you can get up to 3 gold Triad cards, with a slight possibility of a platinum as well. The only circumstance I could see for you going for this card is if you have the Zidane card already and are missing the Warrior of Light. Now let's talk about items that you can only receive through adventuring forays. All these items should be given a high priority, especially if you're not planning on doing Eureka or Boja. The one I'd separate and put into a lower priority is Ballroom Etiquette Pointed Misgivings, as every other one is based on RNG loot boxes, and Pointed Misgivings comes from a vendor using Boja cluster currency. So you're not gambling in the hopes of getting it. Still, it might be worth it just to spend 50 tomes. Even if you plan on doing Eureka, many of these prices can be sold on the market board for a large amount of gil, so it might be worth getting them through the event for that reason alone. And on the note of currency vendors, let's take a look at deep dungeon items. If you're ever planning on getting the Necromancer or Lone Hero titles, these items should be put on a low priority. On my never-ending quest to become a Necromancer, I have accumulated more potsherds than I know what to do with. Even if you don't want to do solo deep dungeon runs, I'd only put these items in a medium priority, as you can do light party runs to get the potsherds needed. If you have no desire whatsoever to do deep dungeons, then this event would be a good time to get them. The next rewards come from the Ishgardian Restoration. If you have no plan on crafting in any capacity, then you should use the Moogle treasure hunt to get these items. But even if you wanted to participate in the Ishgardian Restoration, there are still items you should consider getting. The Big Shell Whistle costs a whooping 8,400 Sky Builder scripts, which is no small task to make. Also, you should consider getting the Paisa Patissier and the Paisa Thread Puller, which come from the Kupo of Fortune, which means you not only need the RNG of having them as a prize, but the RNG of having the prize marker actually on the card, and the RNG of selecting the right spot. Having grinded the Kupo of Fortune heavily in order to get the casual set, I still don't have either of these minions. The 3 layers of RNG make these worth getting through the Moogle Treasure Trove event. Everything else isn't too expensive, so you can just spend your Sky Builder scripts on them. Speaking of crafting, let's talk about items obtained via the Disciples of Hand. These run the gambit. First, the Orchestron rolls. These are a high priority. Not only are they crafted using rare materials, but if you wanted to buy them, they cost a hefty gil, especially to the Edge and the Final Day, which are around 2 million gil on the market board. The only other item worth your attention is the Cloud Acorn Chandelier, which uses a rare material to craft, so it's a bit expensive on the market board, being around 85k. Everything else is not worth your time. Better off crafting it or buying it from the market board. I'm going to group Dungeon, Trial, and Raid drops in one category. I've already talked about the Suzaku card, so it is omitted. All of these I would put in a low priority, as they all can just be run unsynced and farmed to get. The only ones I may consider higher than the others are the Shoebill and Forgiven Hatred minions, as they are dungeon drops, which are just longer to get through. Also the Fey Gibbler Trumpet, as this is the first Shadowbringers trial mount we have seen in a Moogle treasure trove. So for trial players, this is the only means of obtaining it until you sub. The Toad costume, which you can purchase through a vendor with a special currency from doing the level 80 fate, the head, the tail, the whole damn thing, is definitely worth your time. Not only does it seem like a pain to get this fate to spawn, even if you got a gold rating, you'll need to do it at least twice to get the whole costume. So this should be a high priority if you want it. The Fat Cat is a reward from Waterside Explorations through your Retainer's Ventures. So if you're a trial player without access to retainers, this might be a good chance to get it. However, you can also get it from Material Containers 3.0. And if you're using those to try to get a rare mount, chances are you'll get a Fat Cat down the line. So I wouldn't put this too high on your list. As for modern aesthetics style for hire, you can get this through PvP currency, which is always a better route than spending tomes. Same with the treasure box minion. Just do hunts or blue mage content to get the allied seals required. Also with the Garden's Gate Orchestron roll, which you can get from the Pixie Tribal vendor. You should just do the tribal quests. Tribal currencies are usually burning a hole in your pocket anyway. The Verdant Partition is a special case. There are multiple ways to get it. It's a dungeon drop, a Fate Present prize, and a prize for Kupo of Fortune. Surprisingly, even though there are many ways to get it, it's still a little expensive on the market board, sitting close to 300k. Still, with so many avenues to get it, and that it costs 50 tomes to get, I wouldn't put this as a high priority. So there you have it, what's available for the 10th anniversary hunt and what you should prioritize to get. What are you looking forward to getting the most? Disagree with my evaluations? Let me know in the comments. How about you reward me with the treasure of your like and sub, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.